Yeah, I have two quick questions. One is for on the question of housing and retrofitting. One of my staff reminded me here that I think it was late 2018, probably early 2019, she wasn't sure of the date, but the date she is sure of, is that at an information session with the SEAI, they told us that by July 2019, there would be no stipulation on the one home, one visit for retrofitting. So in other words, if you had your attic insulated 20 years previous or 15 years previous, you would be entitled to apply for it again, that they were lifting that derogation. Now, that doesn't seem to be happening, and it certainly doesn't comply with what the council are telling us, that if you already had any retrofitting done and were considered to be at a level, a bear rating that was appropriate, that you couldn't have that revisited. And the reason I think it's important to clarify where are we at this is, has the SEAI gone back on its word that it would lift that one visit, one home obstacle? Are the council applying that and the SEAI aren't? Because we have, and I really can't overstate this too much, so many elderly, sick people who are living in cold housing looking for a bit more retrofitting and are being rejected repeatedly by the council and by the SEAI for any help.
Thank you.
And it just seems so totally inappropriate. My second question...
No, there's no time for a second question. Sorry, Deputy Smith.
Just a quick one on transport to clarify of the 500,000 active travel increases that will happen before 2030 or around 2030. Can that be broken down? What percentage is public transport? What percentage is cycling? What percentage is walking? And thanks for...
Thank you.
Deputy Smith, there's two parts to your question. Maybe the SEAI point I won't be able to speak to, but I will be able to speak to the social housing side of it. On the social housing side, there isn't a kind of a one-person, one-visit arrangement. If a house is below B2 energy rating, it will be considered for an upgrade, and the retrofit, we're aiming for 40% of those houses to be done by 2030. There's no exclusion based on an SEAI. I think the SEAI might be a separate cohort of houses. And Senator O'Reilly, just to reiterate maybe on the county development plans, development plan guidelines, Ms. Walsh outlined the intention there to ensure that those guidelines have regard to climate action. But she also, I think, talked about the whole question of an OPR review. You're concerned about councillors voting against, but any plan will have to be reviewed by the Office of the Planning Regulator, and it has to be consistent with government policies, so or national policies. So I think there's a safety net there.